happen. That's the theme for International Women's Day this year. Now, to make it happen, we also have to have a certain mindset that nothing is impossible, that failing is learning, and that challenges are stepping stones. I have with me here 3 women who have navigated arduous journeys in their life, and they're here to share some inspirational gems of how they have achieved things in their life. So please welcome Datuk Sri Panglima Sharizat Jalil. Congratulations on the title of Panglima that you received very, very recently.
Yes, thank you. It was an honor not only for me, but for the women of Malaysia as well.
Congratulations. Now, Datuk Sri Panglima Sharizat Jalil is the advisor to the Prime Minister's Department on Women Entrepreneurs and Professional Development. She's also the chairperson of My Win Academy Berhad, an organization that aims to increase the participation of women in the Malaysian economy. I also have Nadira Yusof, CEO of My Win Academy, and Maria Elma, Group Agency Manager for Public Mutual. Yes. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning, Lisa.
Welcome to Bella.
Thank you.
Now, on the theme of International Women's Day this year, let us just get to know you a little bit more intimately. So let's start
That's dangerous.
That gets you to spill out a little thing about, about your life. Now, how aware were you, or how were you 10 years ago, Datuk Sri?
10 years ago, I was almost at the top of my profession, which was in politics. I had left the corporate sector way back in 1995. I was a practicing lawyer and I was chairing 2 public companies. And one day I had a phone call to say that I was going to be the candidate for Barisan Nasional in Lembah Pantai. And I woke up to a whole new life. 10 years on, I was made a full minister, and today I'm here, having gone through all kinds of tsunami in my life, but Alhamdulillah, I have remained stoic and resilient and ready to face any kind of challenges in the future. Anyway, I want to wish everybody happy International Women's Day. But to us, every day must be a Women's Day.
Yes, absolutely. And what about yourself, Nadira? 10 years ago.
Okay, 10 years ago.
If you can remember.
Yeah. Every day becomes a history for me because it's the start of something new. But 10 years ago, I was an entrepreneur. I was, I think, about 4 years running my company with my little baby at that time. So I was very much struggling and clueless. You see, I was an engineer by training, but I've always had that dream of having my own purse and my own company. So I was starting off and 4 years into the entrepreneurship journey, and it was I can't say a horrible time, but it was a very enjoyable and a learning experience because it was about managing my new little family and my child who was just about a year old, and also struggling with trying to make the company become where it is right now.
Right.
So yes, it was an amazing journey throughout the 10 years.
and Maria, yourself?
Yeah, I could say that 10 years ago was a starting point of my life. I was fresh graduated at that time in engineering course. So being a 22 years old girl who, wanted to work at that time but have no experience. So I managed to work at one of the IT company as a programmer. Only 3 months, then I found out that, oh, this is not for me, So I was decided to just quit from my job and just do whatever that I'm doing now full time.
Right, okay, yes. Wow. So it has been a long journey, filled with challenges, perhaps.
Exactly. Oh yes, colours.
If you have to look back, I mean, did you envision, 10 years on, to be where you are today? And let's talk about some of those challenges that have cropped up in your life. I mean, Datuk Sri, for yourself, I mean, celebrating this International Women's Day, sharing some of those challenges, what would you call them?
Well, I must say that I am not surprised you know, to be where I am today, you know, having gone through all the ups and downs, because from early on, I have always wanted to be successful. And this is because, you know, I have really great parents. My father, especially as the male icon, the first male icon in my life, he empowered me and my sister. And he told me that there was nothing that I could not do or achieve. But I must work hard. I must work hard. I must acquire skills. I must go to the best schools. I must have discipline. And also, you know, we came up in a... I have a very modern but religious background. And I think that was good for me, because that's why I'm able to take all kinds of challenges. So, you know, I've been, you know, as they say, I've led a very colorful life. And I'm very certain, you know, whatever years left to my life will be equally colorful. And that's how I want it to be. I don't want there to be a dull moment in my life. I'm always telling older women, you know, like, don't despair. You know, in fact, I think where I am now, I like to mentor more women, younger ones, like Nadira, Elma, and all that, based on my experiences. But one thing I want to say to the women of Malaysia, you know, have confidence in yourself. Challenges, take them, you know, take the bulls by the horns, and never give up on life.
What would be the most important thing that you would say that happened to you that created almost catalytic change? You know, a mindset.
Okay, I experienced so many great and painful things in my life, but I really think, you know, the day I gave birth to my 3 children were really, you know, milestones, because I learned, you know, not to live only for myself. You know, like suddenly...
Because you're a mom.
Oh my God, yeah, you're a mother to 3, and I learned about responsibility. I mean, there were so many other great things which happened. I became the first woman candidate, you know, in politics in Wilayah Persekutuan. And then I, you know, got really to the highest mantle in politics, in cabinet and all that. All those are milestones. But truly, if I look at, you know, and I also fell, you know, to all the tsunami in my political life. You know, like, you would never imagine I had to escort my husband to court, for instance. You know, left my job. These are not for the faint-hearted. These are not for the faint-hearted. But I want to stand for hope. You know, at the end of the day, I thought to myself, what do I want to be remembered for? If I can give strength to one woman's life in this world, to know that she must never give up. You know, no matter if she feels that the whole life is crumbling, then I would have succeeded.
Well, Dr. Sri, it sounds like you had a very solid foundation from the very start.
Yes.
I mean, you had a dad who is a father figure, who was very encouraging.
And a husband too.
And a husband too,
Yes.
who did not discriminate. I mean, your childhood days,
Yes.
you were seen like a boy or a girl. There was just no change. No, there's no discrimination, right? So you were given equal opportunities to thrive. Now, that set you up. So when you fell into the deepest depth of despair, what do you say was so important, was such a pillar that really made you rise and wake up and do the things that you have to do every day?
Very simple. I said to myself, hell, I'm going to fight back. You know, because I think all the years, you know, I've got very good mentors. I come from a very large family, very supportive. I mean, my mom, she's great. She's like the Rock of Gibraltar. She told me that, you know, whatever has happened, you and God knows, you know. So if you believe in yourself, hell, you know, go for it. And I like that, because at the end of the day, you have to look within you. The strength must not be borrowed strength. You know, like for the young ones. You see, you can have mentors, you can have friends, family, husbands. I've got a great husband who really empowered me. But at the end of the day, you have to face the challenges yourself. I always thought I was weak. I mean, I didn't know, or rather, I didn't know I was strong. You know, I thought, I can, you know, I'll fall. I didn't. You know, in every woman, there is, you know, this strong streak running her backbone. It's just waiting to be discovered. I really believe in that. In every woman, rich and poor, young and old, there's always that strong streak. So for all the men out there who want to do your women in, remember, she has that streak. you know. And if she is pushed to a corner, she will rise to the occasion.
Well, Nadira, now just listening to that, I mean, you must have had that streak. You must have discovered that.
I've been pushed into many corners. Yes, so I totally can relate to Dato' Sri.
Right. Now, how would you describe your past to lead you to where you are today, leading MyWin?
Wow, you know, 10 years ago, I would never imagine that I'll be where I am today. I mean, I had a vision, but life takes such interesting turns and pivots, and it, for me, you know, during those times when it did take, they went into all these kind of turns, you know, it could have turned into something bad, or it could be made positive. And I was always somebody who's always looking positively, like Dato' Sri. You know, I always believe that there's always another day to live. So what's going to happen tomorrow? So it's always about looking for tomorrow. So I managed to successfully turn, you know, me being pushed into a corner into a different other path that finally led me to where I am today. And it's a very interesting journey because, you know, I was an engineer by training, and I actually worked for an engineering firm for a while, but as Almira, I couldn't take it either, you know. Then I went into my first business, and it turned out to be, you know, leading me to more businesses. And that's very interesting. And then leading me to lead a couple of NGOs. And
so you were, I mean, you have those streaks of leadership.
Oh, yeah.
So where were the streaks? I mean, how are they inspired? I mean, did you come from a family of leaders? Did you have very supportive parents who pushed you to your limits, you know, to test your limits all the time?
And what's interesting is that, you know, growing up, I never thought of my parents as my parents who were being supportive. I always thought they were being strict. You know, I always thought that they were pushing me too much. But if it weren't for them pushing me that much, I don't think I'll be the leader I am today, or capable of doing things I do now. So, you know, growing up, you always have that dilemma of, you know, why is my parents pushing me too much? Or like, why is everything not good enough? And I'm doing the same thing to my children. Yes, I think it was that practice that they put that I did not understand, but constantly pushing me to do better. And failure is always a learning opportunity. And I thank, you know, I thank God, and I thank all those failing moments that I actually learned a lot and actually created successes from those failures to become where I am now.
Right. Thank you. Maria, yourself, I mean, you are in the entrepreneur, the corporate side, you know, you are in your own business women, right, doing this. So if you have to look back, I mean, what were the challenges? How and what made you who you are today?
Okay. That's quite interesting, because I really love to inspire people out there, especially women, because I could say that my journey is not that good. It's not that smooth, because 22 years old, starting in industry of investment, you know, at that time I have no contacts. I don't have people who actually support me to invest with me and all, you see. And I can't even speak in English at that time.
I see.
And I don't have contacts. So I met a lot of people. I met a lot of strangers, especially to, you know, from then I encouraged myself that, okay, if I can do this, if other people can do this, I can do this as well. So it's like a volatile market, my life that time. So
you're seeing all this volatility, right?
Yeah.
What was the biggest, if you can remember, in the last 10 years, that was the point, the turning point, that, I don't know, or even a time where you were despairing so low?
When, you know, to catching up with the knowledge about investment, when I see people rejected me at that time, so I took that, okay, this is not the way. I need to change in order for me to go further, in order for me to be successful. I need to, you know, equip myself with knowledge, tools, and everything. So actually, the people that the people that I met at the time was the supporter for me to, you know, to become, yes, you can do it. You know, you can go more than this, you know, like beyond whatever that I have at that point of time. So I could say, a wonderful journey, up and down like a volatile market, but
Yes.
I'm quite enjoyed it, you know.
You guys are giving me goosebumps. I mean, this room is filled up with so much inspiration and positive energy. We're going to come back from break and we're going to talk about how these ladies make it happen. Welcome to Bella, celebrating International Women's Day. And the theme for this year is Make It Happen. Now, the definition of success, people attach it to various definitions, various interpretations. For some, it's being happy and content. For others, it could be climbing to the highest post in an organization. So let me ask our guests here, what is the definition of success to you, Dato' Sri?
Lisa, I like the fact that you said something about being happy and content with what you do. To me, at the end of the day, that is success. Because I've met a lot of women and men who have achieved the pinnacle of their, you know, their professions and all that, but they've not been happy. I don't want to be in that place. I want to be an achiever. I think I'm a high achiever, but I want to be happy and content. I like a balance in life. You know, I want to read the Quran. I also want to sing, if I have a chance to dance, you know, to cook, which I can't. You know, I want to work hard, I want to be with family, I want to be with friends. So I like a balance. Right. So I think if you're able to achieve that, that is success. I also think that, you know, women must be economically independent. At the end of the day, you know, everything said and done, it is so important for women to be economically independent.
So to carve your own independence.
Yes.
I mean, to have a job, to have money, to have savings, to have a financial, you know, security.
Yeah. If, for instance, a woman cannot work, you know, for some reason she has to stay home, then she must talk to her husband, and her husband must treat her with dignity and give her the allowances that she deserves for looking after the children. A lot of women don't ask for their right. I'm not using the word demand, you know, but they must ask. And I think the men in Malaysia must give the women in their lives, especially, you know, their wives who are not working, but tending to them and the children, the wives and mothers cannot be taken for granted. Because I feel that, you know, the greatest pleasure is to have your own wallet.
Yes,
you know, and you
true.
decide. I think it's terrible for a woman, you know, to tadah tangan, you know, to ask from the man in your life, and you're looking after, you know, his children himself, and you have to beg for, you know, for the sustenance. I don't like that.
What about, Dato' Sri, for families who are struggling and perhaps the husband is not even, you know, having enough?
Yes.
What would be your best advice to ladies in those situations?
You see, because I believe in the economic independence of women, I'm a strong believer in that women must work.
Okay.
And, you know, like, work means you don't have to go to an office. You can work from home. Today, you know, with all kinds of online businesses, there's really no reason why a woman cannot work and earn her own money. So, you know, especially if your husband is not able to provide for everything, or he could have fallen ill, for instance, you know, or he is not earning so much. In Malaysia today, it is imperative that couples bring in dual incomes.
Yes.
Today, you look at, especially in urban areas, you know, it's very hard to sustain on just, you know, one salary. So actually, it's a necessity. And also, if women, you want to contribute towards the, you know, the economic, what do you call, development in Malaysia, women must work. Otherwise, koyak nanti.
Yes, betul. How can a nation rise without the contribution of women? Yes. And Dato' Sri, now, you have led a women's ministry once before, and now you're
11
also...
years.
11 years, and now you're advisor also for women entrepreneurs and development. Now, for ladies who choose to, who you say must work, right?
Yes.
Getting a job obviously gives you the financial independence, but apart beyond that, it brings a lot more satisfaction.
Correct.
Do you think in terms of growth, in terms of being in a community of people that you're constantly being engaged, you know, that's constantly communicating?
Yeah, also it's good for your own self-esteem. You know, your own self-respect, that you have your own wallet. You know, under my advisor office, we have this program called Pasanita, which we are encouraging, you know, for every state to have their own tapak kekal, you know, for women to showcase their products. So our tagline is, every woman must have her own wallet and Better still if her husband's wallet is her wallet too. But I think it's good for self-esteem. You know, women must feel good about themselves.
Yes, absolutely. Now, Nadira, for yourself, you know, various attachments to success, but what is your definition?
Well, my definition of success, I must say, personally, I'm a person who likes to celebrate. So I would want many chances to celebrate successes, right? So I overcome challenges every day, I think, in different quantum and different aspects. So I would take those little challenges and the way you overcome it and how I overcome it and how I turn those challenges into something to look forward to the next day. So those are my successes.
I see.
So it could be from family aspect, from, you know, getting my children to do more homework or do homework in a more disciplined manner. So that to me is a success too.
Right.
And at work and all others. So I would take successes as in overcoming the challenges that you have every day and trying to make all those challenges become smaller or eventually none at all.
Right.
And you evolve all the time.
I see.
That's my definition.
So you tackle in small doses every day, and you are obviously feeling gratitude because
that's right.
It's a daily thing.
Because every time it's a learning opportunity, and every time it's always an opportunity to be better. So I love those moments when you can actually celebrate chances to be better the next day.
Right.
So that's my definition.
Right. Well, one thing I can gather from here is the mentality, you know, it's called kental. I mean, the mindset that you ladies possess.
for years.
You know, it's like you are just searching for the impossible sometimes, looking out for the challenges. Some people are so afraid because they feel that, you know, doubts, you know, challengers are stopping, are blocks for them, that, you know, getting them closer to their dreams. But for you ladies, you are seeking them. So obviously it's a very, you know, very positive mindset. Now, Maria, your success, because you're in a corporate world.
Okay, for my definition of success, it depends actually to the individuals, because it could be subjective to some people. But as for me, success is like stairs, it's like progress, it's like a process. If to compare for where I was 10 years ago, to see people, to convince them to invest with me that time is a success. But obviously, over the time, over the years, I become matured, you know, and I become more ready to face all the challenges in the world. So to me, the success, it can be developed. It brings me to another level of, you know, another level of definition of success. So it brings my life another perspective of anything.
So you're always getting the next challenge. So once you have achieved this, then you know, I'm not going to be sitting on my laurels. I'm going to have few more goals, and then you get keep getting there.
Yeah, it depends either you want to stay and just be satisfied with whatever that you have, or you want to, okay, let's get another one. Let's have another achievement, you see? So keep on renew your goals.
Yes. Well, femininity and masculinity really have no difference. Because like men, you know, women also are ambitious. You know, they have goals and aspirations. Well, ladies, we brought our camera to the streets to ask our people here, what are the changes and challenges that you hope to see on Malaysian women? Let's see the answers.
There's this huge thing that's going on right now about certain scores of people who claim that a way that a woman dresses invites rapists. It's got nothing to do with how you dress. It's got nothing to do with sexiness. It's got nothing to do with aurat even. We have grandmothers getting raped. We have people who cover themselves up getting raped and all that. So I would really like to see a change in that. Do not blame women for the way they dress as the invitees of rape. It's got nothing to do with the way you dress. It's absolutely nothing. It's not the woman's fault. Be in touch with the reality. Please don't just blame us, the women. Can we please look at where the men are coming from as well? I mean, where the rapists are coming from.
Nowadays, women are given more opportunities, and I think women are very good in grabbing opportunities as well, helping hands from bigger institutions or for, say, government and all that. I do think we need more. It's really not enough what is done. I wish that they can focus more on giving aids. Women women who have special issues in life, say single parent or if they are widow and all that, of course, attentions are still very lacking, as every day when you read the newspaper, there are always news abusing women's rights and all that.
In many society, women are expected to be submissive, and some are expected to be very gentle and not voice. So I feel this platform is a wonderful platform for us to show our whatever challenges we face and whatever problems we have, and also as well as our abilities and talent, because regardless of gender, I'm sure we have our individual talents and ability as well. So I think that one of the challenges that we face these days, yeah.
I think we have a lot of challenges. It is a man's world. I think that it's really important that all women unite and support each other, which we're doing. And I think Ikal Mayang is a great, organisation, a very good initiative. What they're trying to do, get women to come together, make short films, be creative, write stories. There's always going to be challenges for women, I think. It's not so much a matter of competition, but I think it's how women are viewed, especially in, I think that there are some biases or prejudices, but I think that that's why it's so important for women to stick together and to support each other.
So, ladies, what do you think? I mean, from the answers, what do you believe are the challenges that Malaysian women face, and what are the changes that you hope to see? Dato' Sri.
Wow, that's a loaded question.
It is, it is. We might have to ask you to seek out perhaps one significant one.
Okay, because I'm heavily involved in politics, I think the one main thing is, the awareness about the rights of women in the country and implementing them. It's not easy. Because I was with the government for many years, it's so much easier to, to craft new laws. For instance, to give rights to women. But not so easy to have them implemented. I think cultural beliefs, behaviors really are the greatest impediment, towards women's empowerment in Malaysia. So I think that as a whole, very easy for the government to come up with laws, but not so easy for the implementation. So we must constantly remind ourselves, mothers and fathers, from day one, when your child comes to this world, you must begin the process of, gender sensitization, and, whereby women will never and must never be discriminated against. But having said that, I have to tell you, I have one daughter, she also complains that sometimes, because I'm a product of the transitional period, my time, women, women take second place. I mean, transition. Yes. But I was empowered, but, there is this subtle thing that, the men are given the chance. So my daughter always accuses me and says to me, her brothers are,
giving more freedom than her.
So, I mean, to be fair,
Right.
But I think the younger generation, like for their generation, and the younger ones, empowerment and emancipation must truly happen.
Yes.
It must truly happen.
Yes, and it begins with the root, with families.
From and parents, families, generations, you must help. Don't leave it to government. The other thing, Lisa, if I may say so, I think there is a lack of intergenerational transfer of values. Today, it pains me, to see parents who have lost their, who have lost their individuality and if I may use the word rights, towards the children. They feel that they're not equipped enough to guide the kids now, the younger ones, because we give them the due respect and love. A lot of parents are afraid of their kids.
So that boundary becomes blurred.
Yeah. I think there's a place for everyone. I tell my children, I'm your friend second. I'm your mother first.
Yes. Yes.
And I like that value to persist in our nation.
Sure. Nadira, what about you? What changes and what challenges do you think women face here in Malaysia?
I think I can speak from probably my generation, right, of women who are ambitious and want to have their own purse power and, currently working and trying to balance the work and life. And I think that's the dilemma that we're facing right now. As somebody who works and work very hard, I too sometimes face that dilemma of trying to balance my role as a mother, my role as a wife, and my role as a professional. So I think that is a challenge that's faced not only by women in Malaysia but across the world. So having a support system that not only comes from your family, of course, you know, you will require a lot of support from your husband to also play the role of the homemaker too.
Yes,
co-person,
co-partner.
Yeah. So in the world of all innovativeness, you know, it's about collaborating. So a home is where you collaborate. So you need that to work in order for women to function well in other aspects, in other areas.
Yes.
That is, I think, is a big challenge these days. And, you know, and having to work in a very demanding kind of environment, especially in Malaysia, you want everything to be fast-paced, and you know, you're just trying to race with not just climbing the corporate ladder, but you have to do that because the economy changes very fast.
Yes.
So yeah, there needs to be some kind of role that not only women play, but also the companies and the organizations will have to support in order to empower more flexi working, but discipline working, KPI driven, and those, I think that would be able to balance women's role.
Right. And Maria?
Okay, I could say that the challenges that perhaps I could say on behalf of Gen Y, okay, these youngsters, they need to be more stand out. They need to be more believe in themselves, have faith in themselves. Because to me, yeah, perhaps the support system, like Nadira say, support system should be, you know, like should be really strong. The foundation really strong, so that these people, the women outside there, no matter which gen are you, Gen X or Y or whatsoever, but if the support system is good, if they have people who can encourage them, expose them to stand out, I think women should be okay. Should be fine.
Okay. Well, we have here also a clip from a renowned actress who recently won Best Supporting Actress at the Oscars, Patricia Arquette, who had something to say. Let's take a look.
To every woman who gave birth, to every taxpayer and citizen of this nation, we have fought for everybody else's equal rights. It's our time to have wage equality once and for all, and equal rights for women in the United States of America.
So it's not just an American issue, it's a global issue. Now, here in Malaysia, you know, we have women who are given opportunities to thrive in the workplace. But how about, you know, there's still statistics that say few women presence in the boardroom, you know, few women's presence in leadership in the political arena, also questions about equal pay in the job area. So just like to get your feedback here on equal pay here in Malaysia. You know, how would you encourage women to fight for that, to stand up for their right on that?
Well, as I said just now, when I first became minister, the one really great thing happened was I was able to convince the cabinet to amend the Constitution, Article 8.3, to specifically state that there shall be no discrimination based on gender. As a legally trained person, it was historic, because thereafter there cannot be any laws which discriminate against women. So, you know, after that, we had a succession of amendments on other laws and regulations and policies. But I believe that there are still many other policies, including the wage policy, which needs to be looked into. In fact, just to share with you, I was alarmed when I was pointed out that there are some big companies in Malaysia still practicing this discrimination. It's shocking. Actually, that's against the law.
Right.
You know that it is stated very clearly in the Constitution, Article 8.3, that there shall be no discrimination, and that includes, you know, equality for the women in Malaysia.
Now also, Dr.
But I think it's, you know, it's very important for all Malaysians, for women, to talk about it wherever you are. You know, forward your thoughts and ideas and information to the Women's Ministry. You know, we have a minister in charge there, Dato' Sri Rohani. I'm sure she and the others in the Women's Ministry will look into it. When I was there, it was important for me to always touch base, you know, with the Rakyat, as she is now doing, because you know what ails the nation from the grassroots. You know, like I think is important for that.
Now we also see, this 30%, at least 30% of women's presence in high-level decision-making. So, combine that with equal pay as being brought up. Some women obviously find that just broaching the topic alone in the workplace is going to probably give them repercussions negatively, probably, the threat of losing their jobs. So, ladies, I mean, how would you suggest, Dr. Sri obviously is saying that, we should encourage more debate, continue that conversation. What would your take be on that?
Well, you see, because I was an entrepreneur, so I was running my own companies and employed women, of course. But I may not be liked very well for saying this. But, sometimes, you do want your wage gap to be diminished, and women should be getting as much as the male counterpart for the kind of work they do, the same deliverable and the same capability and capacity. The organization will have to realize that and acknowledge that. However, you see, based on my own personal experiences, sometimes women also would like the organization to probably give them more flexibility than the male counterpart. And coming from a business or an SME that is driven by results and KPIs and is struggling to just maintain its economic, positioning. So it is sometimes a struggle for the employer too to give while getting less or not even achieving the same KPI as the male counterpart.
I see.
So I think it would be best if the organizations could recognize that pay should be given equal to women who delivers as much, but in a more flexible way. So you cannot compromise your deliverables, right? But it can be in a different manner. So if you can allow flexible working from home, but still achieving the same kind of results and breaking the norm from the usual male type of work ethics or work mechanism, women would approach them slightly differently, but achieving the same result.
That's a point that's well taken. I mean, I'm totally for that. But let's come back. Let's take a quick break here, and we will continue this discussion when we come back. Welcome back here on Bella, celebrating International Women's Day. Now, ladies, we talked about equal pay. So, would you say that women who are confident of their skills, bearing in mind that they have equal KPI, outstanding performance in the workplace, just like their male counterparts, to step into the ballroom and just feel confident of their skills and negotiate that pay?
Yeah.
Just do it.
Just do it. Just do it.
I read a book some years ago. I can't remember the name of the author, but it says women don't ask. Yesterday we had women don't ask.
Yes.
Which is really, to me, I'm always telling the women, don't blame the men yet. Look at yourself first. Why is it that we're not getting what we deserve? Having said that, me being in politics is the most brutal of all professions. I too have to infuse myself with semangat, to sit down in front of my boss and say, this is what I want for the women. It's never been easy. No. Sometimes easier said than done, but we must go ahead and do it anyway.
Just make it happen.
Just make it happen.
Just make it happen.
You never know.
And I was just sharing, this lady who was a CEO at Facebook, and she says that, if you are not confident of discussing your pay rise with your bosses in the boardroom, then hire an accountant to act as your representative to negotiate that pay hike for
that's
you.
Brilliant.
That's right. Lisa, I want to share this with you, to pick up on what you said. You must understand the male psyche. The male psyche, if you go and argue emotionally, you will not get far. Maybe you can cry a little bit or that, they might pity you, but you will not go far. But correct, like what you said. If you bring your accountant, even like for me too, when I face my bosses, I say, okay, sir, these facts and figures, all kinds of charts and all that. They will sit and listen and say, okay. It's got to be that too.
Yes.
But I think it's quite all right to be a little bit emotional sometimes,
Yes, because we're women, right?
That's okay. And never apologize about being a woman.
Yes.
Exactly.
When I want to throw my temper tantrum, I don't really care because, you know, as long as I'm rational, you know, but I know at the end of the day, it's facts and figures which will really, you know, turn the tables for you, you know.
Yeah, and being, you know, Asian women, right? We are
Malu,
demure, you know, soft. So when you actually be aggressive, say in a boardroom situation, some ladies actually feel, oh, it's not me. But sometimes it's really trying to hike up those characteristics and, you know, feeling that strength. And it is you, it is within you.
Correct.
What would you say, Nadira?
I totally agree with that. I mean, women in Asia particularly have got that expectation to live by, you know. But I suppose, you know, expectations these days, I mean, previous expectations and now expectation are totally different. You know, women those days were expected to do things differently, stay at home, you know, and relying on their husbands to provide to them. But these days, I mean, husbands also rely on the wives to also make the home complete and functioning. So economically, I mean, then you have to come to that realization that these kind of expectations have evolved. And I think, you know, for maybe women think too much of those kind of expectations. So I echo Dato Sri, you know, you must have that skill to debate. You must have that skill to be confident and to come in with facts and to understand the man's psyche and to speak their language.
True.
To speak their language, whether you like it or not, I think. It is not about speaking the man's language, but speaking the universal language. So the man will also have to speak universal language, and, you know, we have to start driving that kind of communication these days.
And picking up some negotiation skills for ladies especially is truly important. Now, Maria, for women these days, you know, who have this preoccupation, some saying that, you know, to have it all, family, career, social life, you know, giving back, you know, all these facets that have to be fulfilled. So what do you think? Is it an obsessive preoccupation, or is it a healthy preoccupation? What do you say?
It's a healthy. I could say that women can do all that. You know, you can balance everything because sometimes we would like to be the best in every area anyway. So we like to be the best at home. We would like to be the best with our friends in our career. So yeah, I could say that women. I think we are just born this way. You know, try to accommodate everything at once to be the best. That's why to answer to that, I think women would definitely actually have the courage inside here, you know. You have the strong will, the willpower that will actually, you just do that, you know. You can be the best. You deserve the best, actually.
Wow. You are very gung-ho, Maria.
Yeah, I think because of the...
Very gung-ho. But some women do say, you know, it is an obsessive preoccupation. Something, you know, some people, some ladies think it is too much for them. So, we're going to ask you, Dato Sri, is that an obsessive preoccupation? What do you think? What's your thought on that?
Well, having gone through many years of ups and downs, you know, great achievements and really, you know, low ebbs, my advice is this: be the best. You know, like my mother used to tell us, if you pegang something, from dust must turn it to gold. And finish whatever you start. I really tak tahan if you work, you know, you tak habiskan kerja, you don't finish what you start. For me, you look at it, can you do it? If you can't, I won't take it. But if I can, I'll go all the way. So finish what you start, turn dust to gold, but don't get yourselves burnt out. You know, like spread yourself a bit. Spread yourself a bit, don't spread yourself thin. Because I see so many young ones getting burnt out too early. And there are a lot of casualties. Their marriages. You know, today, I hate to say this, if you look at statistics, you know, it's not so tenable anymore. And I think that's part of the burning out. We want to be superwomen. Even I, my age now too, I also want to continue to be superwoman. It's good, but hang on, you know, have a balance.
Have a balance.
Have a balance.
We're going to take a break again, and we're going to continue this discussion after that. Welcome back. Now, let's also find out here what would be the description and the contributions of My Win.
Okay, so in the spirit of International Women's Day, make it happen. So we believe that there must be, like what we've been saying, skills. Women have to acquire certain skills and be given the opportunity. So My Wind is about that. It is basically an organization to develop the competencies of women in these three main areas, innovation, entrepreneurship, and leadership, the three main skills that we feel every woman should have, and developing that kind of community to support, which was what exactly we did yesterday with the Global Mentoring Walk. Right. So we started off building the supporting ecosystem to develop the growth of women in these areas through developing the mentor network who will then help and guide these women to a further level. So that's our main aspiration. We hope to deliver the A-listers of women through our Galaxy of Stars program. There's going to be many programs that develop the capacity as well as the competency and attributes and matching them together with opportunities. So this is going to be a very exciting contribution.
Sounds very exciting. Now, finally, Datuk Sri, if you have to give some nuggets of wisdom to your old self, to your younger self, from your old self to your younger self, what would you say?
I would say love yourself first. In the sense that if you love yourself, you stay healthy. You stay healthy. You discipline yourself. You have an open mind, and you're willing to learn new skills. You don't live under a tempurung. And the world is your oyster. Go for it. Seize the moment. I would like to see our young generation, men and women, to be global citizens, and they must have a balance in life. So go for it. Love yourself, because if you feel confident, you'll be able to share the joy with others and inspire others, inshallah. Yeah.
Definitely. And finally, just a quick, short description here from Maria. Yeah, on International Women's Day.
Okay, I would like to say that, first of all, happy International Women's Day to Dato and Nadira, and also to the women out there. And simple words, women should definitely deserve the best. Just believe in yourself, be the best. Try to not be afraid of what the possibility that you will be achieved out there. I could say that the word impossible is no exists in my dictionary. You just need to know impossible words actually take you to I am possible.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And
just
make it happen.
Of course. Just go out there and make it happen.
Right.
Don't have anything, preoccupation or expectation to cloud you.
Exactly.
Thank you so much, ladies.
Thank you, Lisa.
It's been very inspirational talking to you all. Now, tomorrow, we're going to continue celebrating International Women's Day here on Bella. I'll be speaking to women in the fitness industry, Atilia Harun, Shireen Saleh, and Nana Al-Halik here on Bella. So check us out at 11 a.m. on the channel of Feel Good. Meantime, I'm Lisa Wong, wishing you a good day. Goodbye, and thanks for watching.
Too good to feel good, too good to